Nihilasta back here. That's always a good start to just start off like you don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, you know the deal by now. Again, I didn't watch this week's Bleach episode because I just have not had time. So I'm just going to talk about the weeks before, episode 2. So, once again, the intro is great as ever, the opening song, but oh my god, they really just spoil everything. Like, they just it's one of the things where it's like, I'm glad I read that manga because I would get everything from this, and it would annoy me. And so we get Uryu still acting like he doesn't care, and it's like, pfft. And one thing they added this time was the entire squad being massacred. Like, we knew that happened from the manga, but cool, I guess. And oh my god, that Nell return was amazing. It had me actually laughing out loud. I was like, I love Nell. It's the fact that they slam into the ground like a damn meteorite. Like, she just shows up out of nowhere like, hey Chico, and he's like, Nell, and it just hits him in the stomach and just boom. And then we get to that stuff with Yuha talking to, I believe it was an Aaron card, being like, are you a prophet? And it never made sense to me, but now someone pointed out, because we know Yuha has like foresight powers of some kind. Well, that's a manga spoiler, but fuck it, this whole thing was like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. And they add a little moment of Haribel in being taken in Wakomando, which turns out her getting really fucked up, slammed into a wall. Reminded me of when Broly in that original Dragon Ball Z movie just face planting Vegeta into a wall, and the entire wall just becomes a circular rock of impact. And it's nice to see this, even though like obviously she got her ass kicked. There's even just that little added moment of it. And it's weird because I just kind of saw all this random stuff. I've put stuff here I've even forgotten, like, oh, another funny moment with Nell's friends. Oh yeah, that was it. Nell's friends just show up and it's Ichigo's face during this whole scene of just trying to dodge the friend when he crashes into the ground. And then we just jump to the funeral. I was like, this is some emotional whiplash, this episode. And they took out the speech about Chojo, which I kind of hated, but I kind of hope, well, not hate it, I dislike, but I hope they bring it back at some point. And like I said, we got the extra scene of the Iron Card being massacred and Nell and her friends being taken. And yeah, like I said, it's a nice little scene, which granted nice isn't the best word, but still. And then, yay! Urahara's back. Just being Urahara, sassy little self. God, I love Urahara. He's like Batman if I actually liked him. Because he's got a good sense of humour to him. And then we got Stern Ritter J, who's, I can't remember his name, he's like Quilge? I can't remember how to say it. Talking some mad shit about Aizen, slagging him off, and he's like, you ain't got the hype to back up your words. And then we get the other Aaron card trying to fight him. And then, oh, another hilarious moment. Each goes on the way to see this fight, and Nell tries to cover his eyes, like, no, it's too scary. Each goes like, oh my god. I just love Nell. He's such a damn good character. And then we get that final shot with the Tres Bestias getting their ass kicked. But man, they were badass. Also, they had that moment where Apache, I think it was, sneezes and like snot comes out of her nose and it takes out a Quincy. I'm like, did she have snot powers? That confused me. But that was cool. And the ending song absolutely slaps too, so hopefully these will be on Spotify soon enough. Or maybe Tidal. I haven't got Tidal, but I kind of think I might get it. I'm wondering what's going to happen with streaming services for stuff like that. Like, I think it's going to fracture and new stuff is going to pop up, kind of like all these streaming services are happening now for TV shows. I still can't believe this is coming out on Disney. It's just like, really? It's Disney, guys. So, next we're going to go to the manga. Akane-Banashi. Chapter 35, so we get some colour pages. Woo! And they always look good. And this random guy shows up to pick his kimono, and I'm like, I wonder how they become relevant. We don't find out this chapter. Doesn't seem to be. So we find out about Taiko Mochi, who were male geisha back in the day, whose job wasn't to be that, but it was to just entertain rich visitors and flatter them and smile up to them. Like, okay, I guess, cool. And then I was thinking, assuming this does get an anime, because it's Shonen Jump, so it's pretty likely it will if it keeps doing well. I'm genuinely interested to see how the voice actors handle this. Like, the whole theatricality of this could be really interesting, seeing them do the different voices, because it's like, this will be a tough job for voice actors. Like, they've got to really stretch their, flex their voice acting muscles, per se. God, that was so cringy. And then, so the play she's doing is a word game of naming conventions, and again, I do not envy the translator for this. That must be pain in the ass to try and decipher for something like this. So she's telling the story, trying to win the crowd over, and then that twat from last time, I can't remember his name, is backstage slagging her off like, oh, they might teach good performance, but nothing else. Like, gee, it's almost like her school focuses on what's important, not being a good little servant to yours truly, and changing the tea leaves like he asked. Prick. So then she changes the story. The end of this story she's telling, and it adds this bit about a lady from a tea house being yelled at by a customer for not changing the tea leaves, even though she did. He was like, I've had enough of your poison and toxic energy. I'm like, oh my god. She changed the story to mock this guy. I'm like, I love it. It's just, that's such a good way of just being petty and getting at this prick. It's like, fucking hell, that was great. Just, yes, that is how you do it. Just insult him in the way only he will know. And the others are slightly worried, but this will come back to bite them in the butt. But I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. This guy had it coming. So I love this chapter. So next we go to Moebana, chapter 16. And of course, so we get to Dewa Kuni's house, and of course he's minted, which is no surprise really. And of course and then there's this group of old ladies there. It turns out they're there for classes, and they're all shocked that Tsubame made a friend. It's like funny, but it's also like, ow, poor guy. We find out his dad's dead, which I'm not surprised at. This is the thing about stories. We kill parents in stories so often, like so much more than what feels like real life. Like, I don't know many people whose parents are dead that aren't like that are still kids. Then again, I don't know many kids because I was like, ugh. Even when I was a kid, I don't remember that being a thing. Anyway, so Tsukumo meets Ayame, the older twin brother of Tsubame, and we see them kind of square off with Tsubame. And then we see an older photo of them. So we see them appearing as a dude, but yet now they may appear more feminine, but they're calling themselves a boy. And Tsukumo is confused because they were in the boys' uniform, now they're in the girls'. It's like, gee, mate, I wonder what that could be. It's a gosh darn mystery. And this feels like the writer trying to be an ally and not entirely getting it. Like, points for effort. I'll see how this goes. So I do wonder if any trans people are actually listening to this. I'm curious to see what you think about this, because I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of not sure what to think yet. Although it's also nice we randomly learn about historical Japanese pottery in this, which is like the weirdest case of the more you know. And so we see how this goes. I'll see how this goes, I mean. I worry about the storyline with Tsubame's sibling. It feels like Imogen in Heartstopper, that whole, I'm not like homophobic, I'm an ally moment. That's how it feels. So I think I'll wait and see how it develops a bit more. Anyway, so next is My Hero Academia chapter 370. So Spinner's flashback is racism, basically. Wonder how this will go. So it's like, holy crap, he assembled an army of 15,000 to get Kurigiri from his prison, and there's only 200 heroes / police, and it's like, these guys are screwed. So it turns out Coda's there with President Mike, and him saving Mike is probably the most relevancy he'll ever get. Aside from that one episode, he got to join with Jiro and fight, and I liked that episode. He was cool. Like, he didn't get so much to do, but it was as much as they give him. I like that. And so the heroes get trampled. Someone calls Coda a traitor to his kind, aka heteromorph quirk wielders. It's like, oh boy, that's going to traumatize him. And I thought that the guy of a hood is like the guy with a speech empower quirk from the Meta Villains arc, whatever it was called again. No, it's someone new making a statement how society acts like it. Tries to act like heteromorphs are accepted now, but like, maybe in the cities, but that ain't true. And nationwide, which is like, interesting. can see where they're going. It's like, it's weird. They make a good point, but I can't see a way for the heroes to stop them without just, yeah, but don't kill people, guys. Like, it feels like that's all the response is going to come down to. And I'm worried for Spinner. He seems so, like, roided out and isn't thinking. I fear this will end with him dying from the effects of this extra quirk All For One gave him. But Spinner got his OG big sword back that we saw, like, in that one arc. And then Shoji does a multi-arm attack on him, and seems like the main fight is going to be these two. And so the other villains trample Shoji, and then he makes this point that, like, the heroes in Jakku rescued the civilians at the hospital first. You guys don't seem to be making any good points. And then, so we see his face finally, his mask ripped off, and it looks kind of what you'd expect, just not human, is the way I can put it. And I'm down for this, if it means we, and, like I'm down for this. I just wish he'd actually got more time to spend with Shoji. For all this, all he got was his little part in the camp arc, or whatever you want to call it. And that's like it. So it feels a bit underutilized. But if he can make his point well enough, I'm down for seeing this. But I want to see Koda get a moment too. I just want him to get shit to do. Like, Shoji and Koda versus Spinner, I'm down for. I just always like Koda. I think partly because his power I just like. But I don't know. We'll see. Anyway. Final one. One Piece chapter 1064. So Kuzon and Naga capture Pudding. And I keep forgetting Kuzon is on Blackbeard's team now. So we go back to the fight with Law versus Blackbeard's crew. And Law cuts the horse in half. And I was like, I know he's on the bad guy's side, but nah, cool, man. Like, it seems like the horse might actually be dead. I'm like, no, I don't like that. Law, I like you, but no. So they're trying to fight. And the thing is, like, it's basically Law as this one big powerhouse and a crew that we don't really seem to have any other powers for. Kinda wish Beppo had got Sulong. Like, funny as it would have been, they could fucking do with it now. So then Shachi goes underwater, and I kind of forgot his hat is is a shark. Or an orca? I think it's an orca. Goes underwater, swallows some water, and then shoots it out. These exploding apples someone threw. Not gonna lie, I'm a little lost. Like, Lord then tells his crew to escape in a sub while he fights, and he's like, this feels like he's gonna die. Like, he's not gonna do his law, but... and then we go to Blackbeard's ship, and Pudding is on board. And seeing as Kuzon just took her, it's like, is Aokiji gonna get involved? Oh god, we are fucked if he gets involved. And then we jump over to Luffy and Co, where Bonnie doesn't seem to believe it, but it seems that Kuma used to be a tyrant. But Bonnie doesn't. That's what Jinbei heard. But Bonnie doesn't believe Kuma would willingly work for a world government. And she says he was from a special people. So I was like, it's got to be Lunarians. Lunarians. God, I am losing all speech today. And I'm interested in this. God, I gotta find something to say about an interest. I just can't help it. So the rest of the Straw Hats reach Egghead Island, and we find Vega01 has a Daft Punk mask. Like, that is just the Daft Punk mask. It's not even like trying. And he believes he's about to die, so he's wanting to bargain with Dragon. Dragon, I've come to bargain. That's the crossover. So I reckon Vegapunk is actually gonna die, but the legacy is maybe leave the legacy onto Frankie and reveal a bunch of stuff before they kick the bucket. Like, I reckon we're gonna get a bunch of lore in this, like how we do all the time, but like a lot of lore will come out here. So if Bonnie's got like Lunarian blood in her, that'd be cool if she's got some powers from that. I think each of the 6 Vegapunks might die until finally there's one, and then maybe them two. I'll find out more about Kuma and hopefully Bonnie. And probably go back to the Law versus Blackbeard at some point, because that's going interesting. I just want Bonnie to get stuff to do. Like, she seems cool. Also, what was that weapon she had? Just had some weird, like, little rod turned into like a lightsaber blasting thing, which is cool. And what is the point with Kuma? He used to be evil and then he left, and I just wonder what that is about. If he's a Lunarian, maybe he was being a tyrant because people were prejudiced against him for his Lunarian blood? I don't know. I'm stretching. Right, so yeah, as usual, I've just run out of energy to come up with anything, so I'm just gonna finish this and try and get back to some stuff later this week, hopefully. Favorite chapter? I think I'm gonna go with Akane-Banashi just because I didn't see that coming. That twist of, well, that mini twist, that was hilarious. Yeah, let's go into that this week. Alright, speak soon. See you next week, guys. Probably. Bye.